This is my steering wheel cover that I removed because when I put it on, the ridges on this bit actually really annoyed my hands. And then it might seem odd, but my hand was like all red by the end of the day. So I know the steering wheel looks grotty, but at the moment it feels fine. So we're going to roll with it. I've got half an hour before I need to pick up one of my children. And I've actually spent all day editing, and I was going to edit one more, but then I thought, do you know what? I'm not. I need a break from my computer. So I thought I'll come and sit here next to someone who's cutting down a tree. And in this car park, I can actually see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 electric cars. There's always a lot of electric cars here. How are we all? How is everyone? We've got 8 people watching. Very busy. Who's that? The Mothra sisters. Hello. Oh yeah. Alex, how you doing? Buy a new wheel. I've got one coming. My friend Matt he's braking an X5 at the minute, so I've got one coming, which I'm excited about. When I get my Fiesta back, remember that? It should be in there. Hi Geoff, found you from the Lotus Eaters. Hello, Johans. Thank you very much. If you did find me from the Lotus Eaters, go on my channel, go on videos, go on playlists, and choose important videos. That's the sort of stuff that you're going to want to be watching. I've done all sorts. Geoff, check your Facebook messages. Sent you something received from my doctors. Look like they're building a list for the war. Okay, I will have a look at that. I don't remember seeing that today, but if you want, email me, jeffbuyscars@gmail.com as well. I've got loads of content coming up, so like I don't have a publishing schedule. You know, a lot of YouTubers will say, all right, I post every day at 6 o'clock. I just chuck them up whenever they're ready. So always go back and check on my channel and see if there's new content, because I think I've put 5 videos up today. There's another one going up at 6 o'clock, and there may even be another one as well, because there's just a lot going on at the moment. And all the people that are saying, Geoff, you're going to burn out. I'm going on holiday on Monday, and I'm genuinely not doing anything for 11 days, probably 12. So don't worry, I am going to take a long break and enjoy my family and stuff, and hopefully come back with some more of these. Whee, dodgy Rolex. Right, on the podcast for the Lotus Eaters podcast, you know, the one when we were doing about AI and I was all uncomfortable and it was just really weird, me talking about girls in bikinis. Can we recommend great new books for your book channel? Yes. I also want to do another reading because I enjoy reading aloud, and I've got Cosmic Banditos with me. So I'm going to do chapter 2, possibly chapter 3 of Cosmic Banditos. 20 quid says you lose another hat on holiday. Yeah, but I'm planning on buying some hats on holiday as well. And I WhatsApped Lee earlier on, who's in Australia, and I said to him, can you pick me up the most touristy looking hat from Hat News. Right. Lee is going to send me, he's going to bring me back some hats from Australia, and Heritage Traditions, who are the company that make the flat caps that I love, are going to sponsor the channel. Well, they're not sponsoring the channel. Basically, they're sending me some free hats, and then I'm going to become an affiliate, whereby if you buy a hat through my scheme, I get, I don't know, a donut or whatever it is. But I'm going to put that up. They're sending me a gift pack. Hopefully there'll be some flat caps and stuff in there as well. Maybe some socks. I don't know what else they sell. So that's major news on the hat front. Right, there was a comment that I was halfway through replying to before I said that. Alex says he's got to go pick up his wife. Can't remember what I was saying. Probably the same reason they don't bother fixing the roads anymore, to make it as unpleasing as possible for car owners. Yeah, I actually called someone out this morning who was closing a road, and I said, why are you doing this? Because there's nothing wrong with the road. And then obviously I ranted at him for a little while, saying that the reason is because they don't want people to be on the road. I didn't notice you being too out of place on the AI segment. Oh, thank you. Geoff, you're amazing, mate. Honestly saying it straight as it is. Don't want one ever. I almost died with laughter. Oh, yeah. Is that Jack? Jack. Oh, yeah, on my Tesla review when I was shouting, never, never. That's how I feel. So today's content that we've got that you might have just watched that's just gone up, we've got the House of Lords are basically saying we need to stop this misinformation. And they're talking about me and Lee indirectly, aren't they? No, I haven't bought the car yet. I'm going tomorrow. It was too much to try and get down there today because I couldn't get a lift. But tomorrow, if I go tomorrow, I can get a lift, because if I went today, I couldn't take the car there and then. I got the cash in my pocket ready to buy the car, but I'm going to go tomorrow because then the wife can take me down, or my wife can take me down, and I can drive back in the car. So I forwarded the message from the doctors to you. Okay, thank you. So the House of Lords video. If you thought the House of Lords one was funny, the one that they're actually going up in a slightly different order. I've done the House of Lords one, and then after that going up is the government's new guide to owning an electric car. So that one is finished and edited. That's going out at 6 o'clock, and that one's quite interesting as well. And if you're a fan of the movie Blood Diamond, then I've cut some clips in from Blood Diamond as well, which will make more sense when you watch it on the video. Couple of comments here. Geoff, please your opinion on the 2004 Mondeo 1.8 DCI, which I just had MOT for £150. Brilliant. Cars from like the early 2000s, particularly diesels, they all do 50 or 60 miles to the gallon. And with a Mondeo, my experience, I had a 2007 Mondeo, and it just seemed like I was spending a lot of money on MOTs, on like suspension bits, and it seemed to go through exhaust pipes. But yeah, you can't go wrong with a Mondeo. The car I'm getting tomorrow, I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. It's nothing exciting. It's probably the slowest car I've ever owned. But in terms of like cheap motoring, it has to be almost the cheapest car that you can run. And I'm quite excited about that. Free to Wheel says, I've just posted a question for you to consider on your Lords video. Just watched it. Okay, I'll have a look at that in a moment. CMDR Sweeper, we still need to get Lee to drive around Donington in a cheapo manual car. Yeah, Lee and I have been WhatsApping a little bit today. We are thinking of doing something when he gets back. I am feeling under great pressure to try an EV, much as I don't want to. Stellantis shutting the EV factory in Italy until the 30th of March due to slow sales. Yeah, I can believe it. The bargains in the used EV market at the moment are just insane. But the one that concerns me most, and the video that I'm looking forward to editing later, is this new EU directive about, what did it call them? Hang on. This is it. Look, I've got my notes here from filming it earlier on. EU's controversial car laws on repairing older cars. The EU is preparing to, it's not been ratified yet, but they're planning on doing this. That what they're going to do is they're going to start calling cars that are older than 15 years old. What's the name they give them? There's a special, that's it. So they're starting to call cars that are older 15 years old residual vehicles. And this is going to mean if something goes wrong on your more than 15-year-old car, your car will then be classed as a residual vehicle, which means you won't be allowed to repair it. So if something goes wrong with the, where is it? And as I say, I filmed this video. This video is going out later. If something goes wrong, or if the vehicle is deemed to have extensive damage, or it's been cut or welded. Now, I think this means if a vehicle needs welding, they're going to say, no, it's not good for the planet for you to repair that older car. You need to get in a brand new one. So my point in the video that you'll see later is, you know, take these old Volvos and these old BMWs. Okay, I'm in an X5, right, which is quite a complex car for what it is. But there's nothing that could go wrong on this car that would cost, let's say the worst thing possible happens to this car, like the biggest problem, it's probably about 1,500 quid to fix it, whatever it is. And the same with most cars of this sort of age, okay? So mid-2000s and older, imagine you own one of those cars from those years, head gasket goes, gearbox, trans, anything goes, right, that's big, it's about £1,000 is your worst case scenario for a repair, okay, like a single item. But with a modern car, you know, so a gearbox goes on a modern car, DSG gearbox, you're into multiple thousands of pounds. So what they're saying with this thing that they're going to ratify in the EU is they're saying it makes more environmental and economical sense for you to scrap your old car and get a new one. Although, as I've just explained, it's more expensive. And I keep saying this to people. I said this on the video that I made last night. If you buy a car for a couple of grand, you're buying an older and less complicated car. So a car for £2,000 has the potential for a repair bill of at most, let's say, £1,000. But if you've got more money to spend, you've got £8,000, you go buy a newer car that's going to be more complicated, you're buying yourself bigger potential problems. So I always end up advising people to just buy cheaper cars. Cool, that's that then. Let me just turn through some of these comments a sec. Only way EV cars would be maybe feasible is if they all have garages with a swap out battery system like a pit stop. Oh, 100% agree with that. If it was about saving the planet and if it was about keeping people mobile, they would have done that from the start, but they never did. No one has ever discussed interchangeable batteries across manufacturers, and no one's even ever discussed like a single charging system. So clearly it's not about, you know, keeping people mobile and saving the planet. What was this other stuff that was going on here? They would have to have a huge array constantly on trickle charge, but I think that could be managed. CMDR Sweep, really, I find it funny since the EU have been working and pushing hard for right to repair. This is in the opposite direction. I'm not sure about that right to repair stuff, but I've got a feeling, I think what's going on, more comments here. I think what's going on is, there hasn't been enough uptake on the electrical vehicles, and they are trying to find new ways to get us out of our cars. They can't just turn around and say, right, all cars over 20 years old are banned. That's what they want to do, but they can price us out and they can legislate us out. So that's what they're trying to do. Rob there, nobody has talked about alternative fuels. As you'll see on my video coming up later in this new government document, this government document is meant to be like the be all and end all of EV information. It's meant to, basically they want to cut across a swathe of what they see as misinformation, and they want to say, right, we are the government, we have the facts on electric cars. And the final paragraph is, by the way, hydrogen and synthetic fuels might also be coming in. So they're trying to promote electric cars, but within their own document that is trying to defend electric cars, they're saying there could be other solutions coming anyway. That's not going to help values, is it? They moved the goalposts on classic cars. Yeah, and the classic car industry as a whole, the entire hobby, hasn't yet woken up to the fact that they will be in the firing line. I think there's a tendency within the classic car world. I mean, that's where I come from. You know, pre-Geoff Buys Cars, I was in classic cars, in marketing, helping to sell classic cars, proper classic cars, not like cheap stuff like I run around in, but expensive classic cars. And across the board, those people in the classic car community have no idea that at some point this is coming to them. You know, it's like everybody's got their sandcastle at some point on the beach, and the tide is coming in for all of us. All of us are going to have our sandcastles knocked down by the rising tide. But there's a lot of different sections of the car world. They think that their sandcastle is up on the shoreline and they think they're going to be okay. They don't realise it's a spring tide and everybody's going to get wiped out. It's just happening at different times. Geoff, I keep getting unsubscribed from your channel. I think YouTube is doing it. Well, it ain't me doing it. Yeah, there's a lot of people saying this as well. And I've noticed as well, okay, so I've posted a few videos today and they have gone out at odd times from like an algorithm point of view, but views are way down. So do check that you are subscribed and do click the bell for notifications, because I never tell anyone to in my videos. I'm not one of these YouTubers that's always like, oh, you know, make sure you subscribe and click the bell for notifications. If you want to subscribe, do subscribe. It definitely helps. But just check that you are subscribed every now and then as well. I've had a lot of people email me and say, I now have to go into my YouTube feed and see if anyone's got new videos, because YouTube doesn't present me the videos. Lorem Ipsum, all my comments get censored on YouTube. Yeah, I remember your username and I remember you commenting, because I do try to go through most of the comments. It's not easy because there's a lot of them, but I remember your username. And yeah, I noticed that I haven't seen much from you lately, so maybe that's what it is. Steve, I drive an EQC and an ID Buzz, yet Geoff Buys Cars is my favourite YouTube channel and own a Geoff Buys Cars Cup. I identify as a petrolhead but can't afford the company car tax. Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. And I love that you're following the channel. I am not anti-EV. I am pro EVs competing with ICE cars on a level and fair playing field. But email me, because I like the ID Buzz. Everybody knows it's one of my favourite electric cars, but I want to know more about that Mercedes EQC, because my theory on the EQC is that they're not going to be any good and they're going to massively depreciate. But I might be wrong. That's just a theory. So do email me. Geoff, I keep on getting unsubscribed from your channel. I think YouTube's doing it. I think I dealt with that one. But yeah, it's not me. Rob Hudson, my comments get censored, plus I'm shadow banned on Facebook. Brian O'Flynn, book review request. Welcome to the masquerade. Can I screenshot that? Screenshot? Yeah, it worked. I've screenshotted it. Job done. Always great videos, and I always show my dad your videos to keep him in the loop. Keep up the great work. Thank you. I try to, to be honest, I don't really try to do anything. What I do is I just address stuff as it comes in. It's always car related, but I try to have my own adventures within it as well, because otherwise it's just all too bleak. The funny thing is, when I do go off and have my own adventures, I lose subscribers, because a lot of the subscribers are just here for the ranting. But I don't just want to rant all the time. Don't get me wrong, right? If for me, all it was about was growing a big YouTube channel and making money, I would never leave my house. I would sit in my car on my driveway and I would address articles that were sent to me. But for me, it's not all about growing the YouTube channel, and it's not all about earning money. It's just about like enjoying life and having fun. So even though I know that doing road trips and going out and buying cars and putting cars on the channel and doing track days isn't what my main subscriber people want, I will always do them, because that's what my life is about. I'm not just here for views and numbers and money. However, I am quite excited about overtaking Hubnut on subscriber numbers, because, as I said, I come from the classic car world, and at all of these classic car shows that I've always been to for the last 10 years, they all hold up Hubnut and iDriver Classic and Furious Driving as these like major celebrities. And there was still the moment where all three of them were kind of on the trans bandwagon and telling people to unsubscribe from me. And then Steph from iDriver Classic did a video, and she did a post, and she was like, oh, some minor YouTuber has made a video about trans rights. And the fact that I am now almost bigger than all three of them, I'm going to take a little bit of pride in that. You know, and a little bit of smugness as well. And I think it's okay for me to be smug every now and then. I've built quite a big channel, but I don't generally tell anyone how big the channel is. Like when I went and got tires fitted to my car yesterday. Funny story. I'm currently locked out of I'm crap with technology, as you can tell. And the other day I had 2 apps on my phone for my banking app, and I was like, why have I got 2? I'm going to delete one. And that then deleted both of my banking apps off my phone. My wife's lost her bank card, so she's running around with my bank card, and I'm there with my phone, and I've accidentally just deleted my banking app. So I put the banking app back on, and now I can't remember my username for my bank. So yesterday I went down to visit the podcast of the Lotus Eaters with only a certain amount of cash in my wallet. And then I decided that because the traffic was all diverted and the motorway was all screwed up, I was going to go get some tyres fitted, right? When I got 4 tyres fitted, I said to the guy, look, I think it was 190 quid, right? And bearing in mind, I'm now a big YouTuber with a massive channel. I said to the guy, look, I know it's 190 pounds. I'm going to give you 140 cash, and then I'm going to get my wife to transfer you the rest, because I couldn't afford to pay for my tyres. And he was like, we don't normally do this. This isn't the way we do business. And I left him a business card, and I said, look, I'm a YouTuber. If I don't pay you, then feel free to comment on my videos and be like, Geoff came and had tyres from us and he didn't pay the bill. And then obviously I gave him all of the cash that I had in my wallet, and then 10 minutes later my wife transferred him the money. But that was really funny, because the guys at the tyre place were like, well, you've got a business card for a YouTuber. How many subscribers have you got then? And I was just like, well, I got a few. Have a look in your own time if you want. I'm not bothered. So yeah, there we go. So I've got a full set of tyres on my X5, one of which went flat last night. I think it's okay now. I might check. Perhaps a little on the low side. Hi Geoff, changing the subject. Have you got a good vinyl collection and a great turntable? Peter, cracking question. I used to have a full vintage Bang & Olufsen system that I bought from a work colleague, amplifier, turntable. I think it had a CD player with it as well. Maybe it didn't. And it had Bang & Olufsen speakers, but I used to have I can't remember what they were called. Were they Focal? I had a really nice setup. And then I had kids, and I used to enjoy playing records on like a Saturday morning, but then we moved to a smaller, most people move to bigger houses as they go along. We seem to be moving to smaller houses, which I'm fine with. I sold my record player, and I sold my, they were ATC, I think they were called AT50s speakers, and I sold them. And I sold all of that, but now I've got a TEAC amplifier connected to Wharfdale Diamond speakers in Cherrywood, or whatever they're called. All of it is from Facebook Marketplace. In fact, I think the amplifier was inherited from my dad. Well, I say inherited from my dad, I nicked it. And yeah, the ATCs were fantastic, because I used to work in hi-fi. I used to be the marketing guy at a hi-fi place, and we used to listen to all of these really high-end expensive speakers, and the ATCs, British company, they were superb. Why do we never see Mrs. Geoff? Because I don't really believe in putting my family on the channel. I do try to keep my family. You never see my kids on the channel either. And I've also gone back through, as the channel's grown, I've even gone back through and deleted videos where I felt like my kids were, or my wife was in them too much, because it's not their channel, it's my channel, and that's, you know, it's private, isn't it? And my kids are young, you know, they're 7 and 11, and they may at some point in the future be like, Dad, why were you always putting me on your YouTube channel? I believe they absolutely have a right to their own internet privacy. I believe that that's really important. And I would hate to grow up and look back and be like, wow, you know, but I think there's a lot of YouTubers that put their kids on the channel thinking that it's going to grow the channel, but you've got to grow it by yourself. You know, you've got to grow a following based on who you are and not who the people you can find are. And I think that's, for me, that's where people go wrong. Sometimes the kids will be on the channel now and then, or you might hear them in the background, but I don't believe in putting my kids' faces all over my YouTube channel. I do like the privacy of that. Geoff, I'm surprised no one has asked a service station at motorway services how many vehicles they get an hour, how many charges are needed to handle the same. Do you know what? I don't think any of them are thinking about it. I think what they're doing is they're just chucking in chargers, just so they can like tick a box. And then once they've got a couple of chargers in, they don't worry about it. It doesn't, you know, look at it from the service station's point of view, right? Let's say I own a service station. I don't care if there's 8 people waiting to charge or 200 people waiting to charge. It doesn't bother me, because they're all buying coffee. So where's my incentive to put more chargers in? It's only going to cost me more money. And it's only, you know, 5 days on the year when there's going to be 200 people waiting to charge. So it doesn't matter. Mrs. Geoff is a weather lady. No, the weather lady, I think she's called Steph, maybe. She has her own channel. That's Square Raindrop. If you want to watch her weather forecast, that's not Mrs. Geoff. Why is this live displaying like it's a short? I think because I haven't worked out how to do YouTube lives horizontal. I can only do them in portrait mode. Listening to you while playing Supertramp in the background, that's absolutely okay. Just watch the Lord's video rant, brilliant, spot on. Thank you, John. I'm glad you like that. You're going to like the next ones that are coming up later today as well. I've got 7 minutes left before I've got to go fetch child number 2 from after school club. Would you buy a Mark II Focus? Love your videos. Yes, I think I prefer the Mark I. If you go back through my videos, I've had 2 ST170s on the channel, but I would buy a Mark II diesel. Hannah Louise, what football team do you support? I lost interest in football after Euro 96, at the point where Alan Shearer was sold for £15 million, and I decided that football was just really all about money. Every now and then I'll watch a football match, but like surfing and cars and not football. And you usually find with people who like surfing, they're not that interested in football, and that's just the way I am. Best electric car I ever drove was a Dodgem. I love Dodgems, and I always, sometimes with go-karting, I forget that I'm not on Dodgems. Yeah, sorry, Hannah, to disappoint you there. I did used to support Arsenal, if that helps, back when I was at school, and I was a good goalkeeper. So I had the David Seaman England shirt from Euro 96. Do you remember that? And it was beautifully colourful. That was cool. It was a bit of me. Lorem Ipsum. I have a 1.6 Mark II. Just needs new rear suspension. Do you play football? No, not really. I should do. I mean, not not at any level other than kicking a ball around with the kids. Stop supporting footy, too much money, and taking the knee. Oh yeah, I mean this was long before the taking the knee. Which Volvo post 850 would you buy? Probably an XC90, although I know they are delicate to some degree. Looks like you took a few balls to the face. No, I've got a which side is it? I got a few things. I had a surfboard to the face here. My face was split open across there and down there. And when I've had a sharp shave on a sunny day, or if I've had a few beers, these scars pop out massively because my whole face was like popped open. And I got hit in the face with a rounder's bat as well. See, I've got wonky eyebrows. See, this eyebrow goes up a bit. That's because when I was I must have been about 12. I was playing a game of rounders at church camp, and one of the big kids, I wasn't paying attention. I was staring at the sky, as I always do. And one of the big kids with a wooden rounders bat swung real hard for the ball, accidentally let go of the bat, and then it flew across the field and hit me right on the eyebrow. And I had to go to hospital and have a load of x-rays and stuff. But I've got scar tissue on the top of my eyebrow there. And yeah, that's from being hit in the face with a rounders bat. I've also got a scar on my chin from when I was a kid, hitting a speed bump too fast on a BMX, going over the handlebars and using my chin as a brake. Hello, Pete from Droitwich. How you doing? Felicia is from Germany. Do you know the name of the Arab countries? Not all of them. No. Should I? Probably should. Do you watch Ben Gravy, the Novelty Wave Hunter? Do you know what? I think I have watched a couple of his things, and I think he's really good. So I should watch more surfing stuff, but the reason that I don't is because me and watching surfing videos is not conducive to getting anything done, because I'm very all or nothing. Wow, it's such a weird sky. Yeah, because if I start watching surfing videos, I just want to go surfing, and that's not conducive to really earning any money or doing anything, and I've done that before. Oi, mate, how are you? I'm good, thanks. Do you play Fortnite? No, I'm not really much of a gamer. Never really have been. Just fixing my bike. Have you ever had motorcycles, Geoff? Yeah, when I was at just after university, I bought a 1976 Honda CB100. Hello, Sarah from the USA. Shout me out. What's that? Sandy's Delicious Cake. Is that your username? Do you make cake for a living? Do you have a YouTube channel about making cake? I bet that's cool. Don't mean to spam question again, but do you think it's worth keeping the 306 1.8 16 valve XS? Yes, definitely, of course. How'd you go on live? You just clicked the button. Skies are good. Skies are mad today. Crap weather here in Dorset. I can hear the Beach Boys playing when you mention surfing. Felicia says, you're so cool. Thank you. Bulldog is commenting from Cat. Look at you. You guys are watching me from all over the world. I'm just like a dude with a beard in a car. I like your accent. I don't have an accent, but you probably do. Howdy from Warwickshire. Have you been to Coventry Motor Museum or Gaydon Motor Museum yet? Not recently, but when I was a kid, my nan used to take me to Coventry Motor Museum to go and see Thrust 2, and I used to think that was the coolest thing ever. When do you think the revolution will be? Hopefully soon. Have you considered prepping? I do. Yeah, I prep a little bit. I've got a lot of weapons. We can't have guns in the UK. We have to have big knives and machetes and stuff. EQC on its way back, end of the lease, and you're more than welcome to give the ID Buzz a try if you haven't already. I have reviewed one for the channel, Steve. Type in Geoff Buys Cars ID Buzz, and you can see my review on the ID Buzz. That was from last summer, I think, when I had quite a lot less subscribers, so you might not have seen it yet. Have you been to Wales? I'm always going to Wales. I went to Wales last week to get a new passport. Results from crash testing in the US have raised concerns that electric vehicles may be too heavy to be stopped by... Yeah, I know. I was going to do that one, the fact that they're going through safety barriers, but I try not to do... refreshing to realize how awake you are. I try not to cover the same content everybody else has covered, so if something comes out and I don't make a video on it like in the first day or two, I'll just leave it because I feel like everyone else has covered it. You do have an accent to me. I'm American. Zari Heat says, hello. Are you from America? Can you say hi, Joshua? Hi, Joshua. How long did it take you to come up with the name Geoff Buys Cars? Not very long. Please say my name. Twintastic. Are you missing the Map Master? I spoke to him on WhatsApp this morning. Please say Ski the Sweden girl. What? A Ski Sweden girl? Hi, please say Aki the Sweden girl. Hello, Aki the Sweden girl. Don't tell my wife that I'm talking to a Swedish skiing girl. She'll be jealous. I don't know why I got a notification of this, but howdy. How does it sound like when a Brit says howdy? Sounds like this. Howdy. How does it sound like when a Brit says, I've got to go because I'm going to be late for picking my kids up? Last question. Do you watch The Office? Yes, I bloody do watch The Office. It's pretty much the only thing I watch. In fact, I watch The Office all the time. That is how I relax. When I've finished, when I shut down my computer, when I'm finished reading YouTube comments, when I'm sitting having a glass of whiskey, I like Oshentoshen. That's my favourite. A single malt whiskey, and I like to watch The American Office over and over and over and over. And last night, I watched the one where Dwight does the fire drill, and it is just fantastic. So tonight, I'll be having a little whiskey. Yes, I know it's the middle of the week, but I had a busy week so far this week. I'll be having a whiskey and probably watching The Office. But my wife hates it, so I have to wait for my wife to fall asleep before I watch The Office. And then she wakes up and she'll be like, you were watching that rubbish again last night, weren't you? I can't stand the British Office. It has to be the American one. I'll subscribe if you say Joe Mama. There you go, Joe Mama. It's Wednesday. I know it's Wednesday. I know. But my kids finish school on Thursday. On Friday, we're all having a family day off. So it's almost the weekend. And I bought a bottle of whiskey to celebrate going on the podcast of the Lotus Eaters. And I haven't drunk it all yet. So I'm going to have a little drink tonight. Did you see M Guy's video about water and the amount that mining lithium takes? No wonder California gets an extra delivery. Yeah, it's just all messing it. Please, can you say, hi, Yasmina? Please, I want to see Mama. Hi, Yasmina. Where are you from? What kind of whiskey? I've gone through. I am late now. I'm going to get going. What kind of whiskey? I like Oshentoshen. It's a Glaswegian single malt, so it's a lowland whiskey. But I like single malt whiskey that is like vanilla-y, caramelly, you know, like quite light whiskey. I don't like them really smoky. But yeah, whiskey's my tipple, really. You've got to go, haven't you? Yeah, I know, I'm a little bit late. But it's okay, because if I'm late, then they just bump him into after school club. Because if I turn up too early, then he'll moan that I'm early. Got to struggle to read comments now as I drive along. But yeah, so that's why on the treasure hunt, I decided to put the Oshentoshen distillery on as one of the locations, because I'd really like to go there, but I haven't had a chance yet. I am on private land at the moment, by the way. Turn on auto rotate. It's got a nice couple of dogs. Are you Abigail's dad? What, me? No. Can you say Evie is the goat? No, because they're not. Where's everybody from? I feel like we've suddenly got a whole load of say ooh woo for a sub. I feel like you're all just messing with me now. There's a bourbon from Kentucky called Woodford Reserve. It's got a bit of vanilla flavour and great smooth. Do you know what? At Christmas, I went up to my dad's house and we did a whiskey tasting. So we all took a number of different single malts along, and we had a very sophisticated evening where we all tried various different single malts and then commented on them, and it was actually really good and really educational. But what was really nice about that, and I took a bourbon up. I took I think I took Wild Turkey actually, because I wanted to compare. But corn-derived whiskey drinks are not as nice as normal ones, which I think are made out of barley. Is it barley? Probably got that wrong completely. Have you ever tried white rum? Probably, yeah. I like rum, but I like rum when it's like spiced rum. That is it. I'm basically a pirate. I'm late to fetch my child. Thank you very much, everybody. This was fun. Might do this again tomorrow at roughly the same time. Thank you, everybody, for your comments. Let me know in the comments where you're from, and make sure you watch tonight's video, which is going up at 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock UK time. Cool, that was a good one, wasn't it? Right, thank you, everybody. 383 people watching me driving along. Lovely. See you all later.